Okay, we are live here in Punta de La Reina.
Puente la Reina,
La
without
Reina.
D. Puente
And
la Reina.
Miguel is works at this wonderful hostel here. How do you say it?
The name of the hostel?
Yes.
Albergue Jacque.
All right.
In
And
Spanish we say Jacque, but it's the same.
so how many people can stay in this hostel?
About 90 people, more or less.
Okay. It's beautiful and it's air conditioned inside.
Yes, very good place.
So you were just telling me that you're going to be on public television coming this December about the Camino.
Yes.
Tell us how they approached you.
Well, they just come here, they want here to sleep, and they told me what they were doing, and I say to them that I was the tour guide of the village, and this very interesting church is 5 kilometers from here. This church is unique in the world, so they tell me, oh, so come with us and show us the place. So I show them the place, they love it. Later I show them the village, they love it, and they film me everything the next day. Also we have an activity, we go with a boat rolling through Pamplona to Puente la Reina. They film also this activity with me explaining everything. So yes, we have a very good relationship with them, and they told us that we'll put the video in December in a documentary which is kind of histories and mysteries of the Camino or something related to that.
Will it go online or do we have to watch it on television?
I have no idea. I think it's going to be in television as a normal thing.
Yeah. So tell us about the history of this area.
Yes, it's very, very interesting. The village.
Where are we, first of all, so
We are
everybody
in
knows watching?
Puente la Reina is kind of, usually people start in San Jean de Pied-de-Port, the Camino. So we are in the 100 kilometer, more or less. And what is interesting about this village and others near is that it was built in 12th century when the Camino was really, really growing a lot. Okay, lots of pilgrims coming, and they didn't have enough places to sleep or enough places to be cured because the Camino at that time was very, very hard. 1 every 3 pilgrims died, more or less, in 12th century. So they need these sort of villages or places in which they were safe. Okay, so Puente la Reina was built at that time. The Muslims were in the south of Spain, so it was built with a big wall, only one street in which there are a lot of religious orders helping the pilgrims, etc., etc. Okay, so nowadays, because we keep more or less the most interesting buildings of the village, you can see the village more or less how it was in 12th century. Okay, so it's very interesting in that way. Okay?
What is the name of the city name?
Puente la Reina is very interesting, this question. The meaning is Queen's Bridge, because the bridge, which is the most famous bridge 11th century in the world, it was built by a queen in 11th century, so before the village was built in 12th century, and it was built to help the pilgrims to cross the river, okay? Because pilgrimage at that time was kind of different. It was done by huge groups of pilgrims, walking with the animals, with things for trading, etc., etc. So they had the necessity of crossing the river, not only with one boat. It was very, very slow. Okay, so they need a bridge, a proper bridge. So queens and kings of Navarra, which was a very Christian kingdom, okay, tried to promote the Camino as much as they could. So they built this bridge to help the pilgrims, and this bridge was not only a bridge to cross, it was also a religious bridge with a tower, with a...
Okay, so
Yeah.
Tell us about this property.
The hostel, you mean? Mm-hmm. Well, this is part of a big company, which is not only the hostel, it's also the hotel, 3 bars, the restaurant, and we are also activities company. We do a lot of activities for our customers, most of them pilgrims, okay, like tour guides and these sort of things, okay. We started 26 years ago with only the hotel, but the thing was growing, and now we can see this beautiful hostel, this beautiful terrace. Inside the place is beautiful and very comfortable. Every year people come and say that it's the best hostel they have been in the whole Camino, so it's a very good place.
So the place that I bought my backpack, they highly recommend that we stay here.
In Pamplona, you mean?
No, here. No, I bought my backpack at a company called REI.
Okay.
And they
say that it was a good place?
Yes.
Very nice.
Came highly recommended. And your name is actually in the famous Camino book. Where
in
did
the
Camino
famous guide, yes, in the most famous
No.
one.
Here's
yes.
all of our mess. It was so hot coming in here. So talk to me about the mystical part of the Camino.
That's also very interesting. It's not going to be very nice for the Christian people because I have a very bad history for them, and is that the really origin, the start of this Camino, it was a pagan way. Okay, before it was a Christian way.
Okay.
Spain was full of lot of tribes before the Christianism arrived. Okay, before the Romans conquered Spain. Spain was a lot of different tribes, okay, very old civilizations that they follow this religion that is the paganism, which is very related with the nature, with the natural elements, the animals, the sun, etc., etc., okay? So at that time, they did this Camino, not to Santiago, to Finisterre. Finisterre is the last city in the west of Spain, of the west of Europe, okay? So lots of people from Europe, pagans, they did this Camino looking for magical places, okay, energetical places, and with the time when the Christianism arrived, it was changed in some way to a Christian way. So now it's a totally Christian way that is done for many different pilgrims, not all religious ones. All of different people do the Camino, but the really origin of the way is a pagan way, okay?
Interesting.
Yes, it's very interesting. Most of the people don't know this,
I didn't.
and is not a, you know, it's totally true.
So you see about 90 different pilgrims a day.
Yes,
What do they tell you on why they're walking this?
that's also a very interesting question. There are lots of different reasons. There are very deep reasons, as for example, people have lost their son or their mother or something, okay, some familiar or something. Also for fun, also for traveling, you know, I want to visit Spain, so I'm gonna do a famous thing in Spain. The Camino is a famous thing in Spain. And for people which is very Christian and wants to do because it's a Christian thing, lot of different reasons, and that's very interesting, you know, have different customers and different people.
How many people start off in San Jean and make it all the way to Santiago?
In every year, you mean?
Percentage-wise, yeah. How many people actually make it?
It's not possible to know exactly, but they say that it's kind of 50,000, sort of, something like that.
So maybe 50% make it at the start off, or
Most
do
of
you
the
think a lot of people quit?
lot of people quit
Where did they quit?
when they are injured or something
Yeah.
like that. Okay, some people in the first or second day they need to abandon, okay,
Yeah.
because they have a very bad thing in the feet, so they couldn't stay 10 days stop in a place waiting for be cured, right? So they need to abandon. Most of the Spanish people do the Camino in parts, 1 week this year, 1 week the other year. Most of the foreigners do the whole thing. Okay, so it depends. It depends.
We have a viewer on here named Pam that actually walked this a few years ago, and she did the whole thing. And she was helping me get ready for this trip over the past couple of months. Hey, Pam. So do you guys have any questions you want to ask Miguel? We've got a number of viewers from the United States watching this.
Oh
yeah.
my God.
Yes.
What time is now there?
It's during the day.
Okay.
What time is it here? It's like dinner time. It might be after.
7:30.
So it's 1:30. It's right after lunch
Okay.
in the States.
Okay.
So what else do we need to know? What would you tell somebody if they said, hey, I'm thinking about doing the Camino?
Yes, I can say one thing, and is that through, during history, it's like 1,000 years, been a very, very good experience for almost 100% of the people that do the Camino. Some people say that is because the atmosphere of the other pilgrims. Some people say that is related to these energetic and magical places you cross. But what I can say that is very good experience to almost everyone. Okay,
Yes.
that's very interesting, I think.
So we have a viewer says, do all the ladies love him? Yes, he is very handsome, isn't he, Cynthia?
That's not true. That's not true. No, I am very not successful with girls.
He is very single too, Eddie.
Yes, I am single, so.
Oh my God. So let's see, what else? How does it change people's lives when they finish the Camino?
In some way they change. Some people had to tell to me after doing the Camino that they feel more strong because they follow the, you know, because they were able to finish.
Yeah.
It's hard to do the Camino, so
It's very hard. I
you
had
know,
no idea how hard
and
this
the
was.
weather, and it's really hard. So but everyone can do it. You know, I have seen people with 7 years old
Really?
doing the Camino, or with 78 years old doing the Camino. So everyone can do it, but it's hard. So people feel very, very happy, more strong, more, you know, they love them more. So yes, very good for that. In that way, it's very good. For the feeling, for the personal feeling, it's a very good thing to fulfill the Camino.
So when are you going to walk it?
I will do it for sure, but not now because of my conditions, my work conditions. I have 4 free months every year. It's November, December, January, and February. No pilgrims. It's winter,
Yeah.
so I usually travel around the world. This year I went to New Zealand, Australia, and other countries. So now in my life I am using my 3 months to travel around the world. In
Yeah.
the future I will do the Camino for sure.
For sure.
For sure.
So we have another question.
Yeah.
What age ranges walk this?
I answered you before. It's people, I have seen people 7 years old and 81, 78 years old. So
Wow.
most of the people your age, more or less.
What's my age?
Between 40 and 50, between 30 and 50 years old.
I like that.
That's
So I have a birthday on September 9th. It's the day after,
Oh.
well, a couple days.
it's nothing, yeah?
So what is a good way to celebrate in Spain?
Spanish people love parties.
Yeah.
Parties, drinking, and those things.
Parties on the Camino?
Parties on the Camino. I recommend you to buy something special, some cake or something, and with the pilgrims in the hostel you sleep that day.
Yes.
Try to celebrate with some wine and everything. It will be nice to be with a lot of people from different countries, you know. You will feel like they are friends from all the life and they are friends maybe for that day, you know,
Yeah.
and that's very nice.
So my Aunt Lynn just joined from the States, and she's been with us this whole trip, watching us and talking with us. Aunt Lynn, we're talking to Miguel. He does a lot of history about this area. So if y'all have a question for him, he's going to be with public broadcasting. He's going to be in the documentary in December about the Camino and the mystical things about it. So anyhow, if any pilgrims, they call them pelgrines, is that right?
Peregrinos in Spanish.
Pellegrinos,
Yes.
okay. So what does that actually mean?
Peregrinar is a verb that the meaning is walk for a religious reason, okay? Mm-hmm. So peregrinos is the name we give to the people that do this action, this verb, peregrinar, okay?
Mm-hmm.
It's very, just nothing interesting.
So let me ask you this. How much does it cost to do the whole Camino if you stay at
It
hostels
depends.
like this?
You can stay in municipal hostels and keep, you know, trying to don't spend too much money using the kitchens in the hostels, etc. Or you can stay in private rooms and having lunch in restaurants. Okay, so it depends a lot. I think that less than 15 euros a day is kind of very difficult. But I have meet some people that is doing for 1 or 2 euros a day.
Really?
Yes, with the tent and eating nothing, so it depends.
So where do you sleep if you're in a tent? Do they have campgrounds, or do you allow people to sleep out here?
Legally is not
Legally
allowed
not.
to sleep anywhere, but in the Camino the police have some, you know, they don't put problems to the pilgrims. Usually. Okay, in this area at least no problems. Maybe near to Santiago, where there are thousands and thousands of pilgrims, maybe the situation is more difficult to these people that try to put the tents, but in the start of the Camino it's not a problem.
Huh. Yeah, I heard it gets harder to find a hotel the closer you get to Santiago.
Yes, you need to
Yeah.
do reservations by phone, etc., because more full, yeah. And at this time of the year, which is high season,
It's still high. See, the books made us seem that it's starting to be easier to travel.
no, trust me with this, May and September,
Are the highest?
highest because of the weather.
We should have asked
June,
you first.
July, and August is very hot, so
Yeah.
less people, more Spanish people, but less
Wow.
foreigners.
Wow.
Okay?
Well, gosh, thank you so much for this interview.
Thank you very much. I love to do these things, so thank you.
Yes, awesome. All
Thank
right,
you.
well, we'll be looking for you on television in
Yes.
America.
Yes, please. Because
All right,
it's
we'll be.
very interesting.
I will add you to this group so you can see your interview.
Very good. I will love that.
All right, talk
Okay.
to you. Thanks. Bye.
Thank you. Thank you very much.